All right, how's it going, everybody? The Scrubs are back with a
Everyone.
whole new lineup and me. So, how's it going, Mitch and Zero? And Demon just ran off. He had to get a snack, but he'll be back in a minute.
It's been going good. And I been holding the baby all day watching the US championships. So that's been my day. How about you, Zero?
Just watching bad football and playing bad chess.
There you go. Sounds like my life. But so yeah, you were complaining, but the Chiefs they ended up destroying Washington.
Yeah, as soon as I
You know.
turned it off, they came back.
There you go. So you're not allowed to watch the Chiefs anymore.
Exactly.
I think I had to swear off going to any tech games because I was there yesterday and that was miserable. It was one of the only games I've ever left at half before because I was just couldn't take it anymore. So I'll just stick to my bad chess. There's Demon. He's back. We'll let him finish chewing for you. Unmutes himself. So we got so everyone I think knows Mitch. Everyone's familiar with Mitch at this point. But I think
I don't know. There was some YouTube comments asking what mitching it means. So
Oh really?
yeah.
Come on. I see Daster and Chad and BCube and Adam. They all know the Mitch, but you've been around for a long time. You're one of the dojo elite. I would say.
I don't know about elite, but I've been here a long time.
Well, compared to the other three of us on this stream, you are.
Almost assuredly.
So, because Zero, you started, you just picked up chess recently, right? Had you played in the past or?
No, I didn't pick it up as a kid. I don't know what changed my mind. I just decided to start playing them probably March. I guess I just got fed up with the being stuck in my house, so picked up chess.
Very cool, very cool. So you've just been practicing, watching dojo streams, trying to improve, playing some classical games. Sounds like you're doing everything right.
Yeah, I literally picked up dojo about a week after I started playing.
Awesome.
Perfect.
That's the best way to improve. Find a community to join, like the dojo, and stick to it. So glad that you're here.
Yeah.
And how about you, Demon? When did you start playing? Because I feel like I remember like the minute when you came into the chat and there was like a tournament going on, and I think David talked you into playing in the tournament. I feel like I remember like the minute like you first popped into the dojo.
Well, I don't remember 100%. I think it was like January or something like that, maybe. And I played a bit before when my dad, because my dad he played chess a bit, so he learned some stuff from a grandmaster he knew, and he kind of played with us. And then same thing that happened to Zero, I guess, kind of started sitting at home and was like, why not? And then I loved it, so why not?
Very cool. That's perfect. And I see Daster's in chat. And did I swear or something? I don't even know what you said. I was like, did I curse by accident? I don't know what Daster's saying. But it's good to see you, Daster. And you've been gone for like the last week. I don't know where you've been. Been looking for your sarcastic comments in chat all week. So what's the plan today? What did you guys want to do? I think we were thinking maybe because Zero and Demon are pretty closely rated. You guys are in like the 500, 600-ish rating range, I believe, somewhere around there. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm down to 507.
It's all good. That's perfect because I think that's
Rapid or Blitz.
I don't even touch Blitz.
Oh, I play Blitz for fun sometimes because just in case I have that much time left in an actual Rapid game that I'm able to throw those moves out. Well, I'm gonna think decent at least.
Yeah, I've been trying to force myself to not play Blitz, but it's like a drug. Once you play like one or two games of that or Bullet, and then all of a sudden it's like 40 minutes later you just played a bunch of crap that doesn't help you at all. But I'm like, I don't have any time to play a Rapid game, and then meanwhile I'll spend like 45 minutes just playing Blitz or something like that, and could have just played a better game to start. So we were thinking maybe you guys is that the plan? Let you guys play a game maybe, and Mitch and I can commentate, and I can say pointless comments, and then Mitch can actually analyze your games a little bit better. And then we can like kind of talk you through what happened, maybe add some pointers, give some advice. Does that sound reasonable?
Yep, sure does.
I don't mind it.
Okay.
Great. Sounds good to me.
What time control are you guys thinking?
We could do a 15-10, or we could do anything less. It's fine.
Yeah, I don't mind.
Okay. How about 15:10? Go with one of the standard time controls.
All right, sounds good.
So I guess if you guys, I don't know if you guys are friends yet, but you guys can challenge each other. I'll follow. Wait, hold on. Let me find you two. I don't know if I'm friends with either of you yet.
Yeah, I think I do have him on mine. Let's see.
I think you're both friends with me, right?
What's that thing? All right, sorry. I think I sent you a friend request just so I can, and then I'll try to follow you.
All right.
Oh, and we also got Evan in chat, so he'll be able to provide his expert analysis too. So basically, I'll rely on Evan to post comments, and I'll repeat his comments and act like they're my idea, so I look like a chess genius.
Well,
I have it up right now if you want me to send an invite to him.
All right, I think I'm following Zero now, so I think I should be able to.
Yeah, I think I'm following him too.
And also I shared my screen, Mitch, too, if you need to see it. But I just shared it just so in case. I did get a haircut. Thank you. Nice and short.
Do you want us to mute the Zoom or no?
Yeah, I would probably. Yeah, you can probably leave, I guess, the Zoom audio if you know how to do that, or just take off headphones or whatever, just so you don't hear all the genius ideas that I'll be laying out for you. All right, I'll try not to cheat, Cartier.
okay.
All right. Hopefully they start their game up.
Oh, wait, it might help if I switch to a live chessboard anyway. And then, yeah, I haven't seen their game start yet. Sorry, this is our first time ever doing anything. There we go.
First time ever doing anything. Do the Scrubs normally not do anything?
No, we normally just sit here and just act like complete morons.
You know, in Kostya's recent YouTube video, his estimated over the board rating for me decreased again from the last time he said it, which was a decrease from the previous time. So now I've decreased enough that I'm a scrub.
You've dropped down below the threshold of
yeah.
Now you're officially a scrub.
Yeah, I saw Paul E4 was asking how I was on the show. It's because Kostya keeps downgrading me.
Yeah, I didn't know. I thought we were making a special exception today and allowing Mitch to be on, even though he's not a scrub. But sounds like apparently on Kostya's official ruling,
yeah,
the judge.
I don't know what's the rating cutoff for scrub, because I think by my next analysis video, Kostya will probably say I'm 1600.
I watched his last one that you just came out. That game was a roller coaster.
Yeah. To be fair, it was my first game back to playing chess after the baby was born. So
Yeah. You got that baby brain. Have they made any moves?
Pretty bad. No. So there we go. E4.
Okay, there we go. Finally.
Yeah.
I was like, is my thing frozen?
I was gonna say my first piece of advice is to make moves in your games.
Yeah, there you go. What's the rating cutoff for the Patzers? I feel like it's the same as the Scrubs. It's just maybe a metric. What's the metric rating conversion? Oh, let me turn on sounds.
So we got E4, C6, Knight C3, D5, and now D3. So this is interesting. Definitely not the way that you normally play a Caro-Kann, but that's to be expected. We don't need to know theory at this level. We just need to kind of know to get our pieces developed. And unfortunately, D3 kind of blocks in our own bishop on F1. So not the best move. I think if Zero really wanted to punish it, he'd play D4, locking on the pawn chain and preventing that bishop from coming out. That's not play. That's Knight F6 instead. That's completely fine. Just develop your pieces. What do you think so far?
Yeah, it's looking. It's definitely a different opening sequence, I guess, that I'm used to. But I'll also point out that Zero has actually just recently enlisted the services of Mr. Evan Rosenberg himself as a coach. So I know Evan's been going through some, I think, changing up his opening. So I'm actually not sure what Zero used to play and what Evan has been kind of working with him on. So I was trying to see.
I'm not sure what he used to play, but I know that Zero said that Evan's having him play the Caro-Kann and D4. Or no, I think he used to play the Caro-Kann and Evan's going to have him play E4, E5. So sorry, breaking the rules, I think. I don't know.
But yeah, okay. So I was kind of expecting that push because it feels like something that they do at these kind of levels just to push that knight. I don't know where that knight really wants to go now.
Yeah, I think that's a fine move, whether you're at this level or any other level. The knight doesn't really have many squares. I guess it can go. I think what the best square for it is not that. I was going to say the best square for it is D7.
as he makes the move.
I think this is okay, but I think that knight's gonna potentially get trapped after something like D4 and then H3.
Yeah,
we're gonna be making a lot of moves with the knight.
Would you have dropped it back to like
I really
D7?
want to talk about with these guys is opening principles over any type of theory. So even knowing that this is a Caro-Kann defense isn't necessary. Just make moves that are developing that you don't want to be moving the same piece over and over. Yes, the knight was pushed away, so this was like absolutely necessary that he moves it, but we should see that on G4 it's going to get bumped again, and we're going to be making a ton of moves with the knight. So we see Queen E2, another breaking of opening principles. We're moving the queen too early, blocking in our bishop on F1, and bishop F5 comes. Now the pawn on E5 is defended, so H3 is a move to bump the knight again, and the knight will have moved 3 times in the opening.
Yeah, I think that's perfect what you're saying, because we're gonna, well, Mitch is. I am in no way a chess coach or feel weird giving chess advice to anyone in general, but I feel like I can impart some wisdom when it comes to certain like that are that lower rated than me. So like we are going to try to take this because Zero and Demon are so closely rated. We feel like this is like a perfect opportunity to try to help just speak to those same principles again, like Mitch was already saying about not moving the same pieces multiple times, and just trying to impart some kind of wisdom like that based on what we're seeing, which is, you know, exactly what they're doing is what we can try to help them on.
Yeah, I definitely think that it's something that we'll try to talk about and try to help them with. It has been 7 years since I've coached a student, but I used to be a coach when I was in high school. I used to coach middle school and elementary kids, so not exactly the age range that we're going to be talking with today, but hopefully some of it is still applicable. So we see F3, H3, pretty much the same idea, bumping the knight back. F3 is somewhat more weakening than H3, but I won't hold it against Demon. Now Zero's putting in a lot of time to think about this knight H6. I don't think there's any move on the board
I saw that initially too as something that maybe they could have tried, but I mean,
but yeah, the reason why this isn't working is because now F takes G4 threatens the bishop as well. So yes, we pick up the knight, but then he picks up our bishop, and we've lost a piece. So this is just simple. I believe I don't know if Yusupov calls it counting or where the term counting came from, but I think this is just very quick tactic calculation things that we need to work on with them.
And I've been guilty of this kind of push before too, where I hopefully I don't do it too much anymore. But yeah, I get the idea. Maybe I can take, and if they take, then I can take, and then I'm like threatening the rook or something like that. But it really doesn't all check out that way.
Yeah, it's trying to be a little too fancy, I think.
Yeah,
I see why they do it. You see games by Tall, you see games by Shirov that they just leave everything hanging, and it's brilliant. But the thing is, Tall and Shirov were 2,600 grandmasters.
Yeah.
They really thought through the whole sequence.
That's exactly. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that I used to do all the time, where I thought like I'm going to push this, and because it is in my head, I'm like, man, this might be a brilliant move. It might trick them, and I don't know, I'm attacking this, but really, it's better just to play more solid and drop back, because yeah, as you said, they've done the calculation. I wasn't doing any of the calculation. There was no calculation to even be had. So it's better just to drop it, protect the piece. Don't try to get too fancy and just try to play more solid.
Yep. Yeah,
this isn't called the Shirov game, but this will go down in history as the Zero versus Demon game. Just watch. It'll be in chess books one day.
Yeah. All right. So we see the capture on here. Zero will have to make the choice of continuing with the capture that he initially shows, or realizing now that his bishop is hanging in this position. So
yeah,
he might retreat the bishop. Either way, either retreating or capturing the knight, he has now lost a piece. But the game's not over.
I guess his only hope is maybe taking the knight and then taking the bishop, and it just kind of gives a very weird structure, or kind of some, that doesn't necessarily destroy it, but it just gives white a really weird setup. So maybe that's their hope at this point.
I think it gives white a really nice structure.
You think it does?
If we take the knight, he takes our bishop.
Whoops.
White has the full center. Eventually can play d4. He's got pawns on f4 and e5, or f5 and e5 really in our throat already. And black can't capture on g2 without developing our bishop. And okay, we see queen a5, leaving the bishop hanging, not capturing the knight. But I guess we're still going to capture the knight next move. So I guess it's pretty equivalent to capturing first, and then
I think he maybe sees something like, winning the rook in the end. Maybe he sees some kind of a combination where if Demon comes in at the wrong sequence.
Yeah. I mean, I guess he's probably thinking, okay, pawn captures bishop, pawn captures knight. I don't know what move he's inserting for white, but I guess B captures pawn, queen captures, and then if white makes the complete blunder of bishop to d2, then you can take the rook. But there's also queen d2. There's also, all right, I mean, I guess no matter what, that's losing the rook. So, but white doesn't need to capture the pawn, is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right, and that was a pretty good play by Demon, I think, right? To recognize that they didn't have to rush and try to take that.
Yeah, I mean, either way, we're taking the bishop. B3 was fine. I guess it eliminates the temptation to take it ourselves, but we could just leave our pawn on b2 hanging and take back with the bishop.
Yeah.
Or sorry, no, we can't, because we'd be in check. So yeah, b3 is actually really good.
Trying to come at that guy. Yeah. That pawn is locked in now, so there's kind of no way to try to discover anything.
Yeah, so Demon's playing this pretty well. Lots of stuff to go over with Zero. The Demon takes the full center with d4. White's up a piece, has the center, has a great position. But there's still more chess to be had. So definitely don't want to see a resignation at all. I want to see the full game played out. Just yesterday, I was in a completely losing position, just dead lost, and my opponent blundered, and I ended up winning the game. And it happens all the time.
Oh yeah, my last two rapid games were games that I did not deserve to win. Well, maybe it was just the one I just did not deserve to win, and somehow I did. It was a complete draw, and they ended up pushing a pawn and locking their position, and I won. But so there is luck involved in chess to a certain extent, because I got very lucky that game.
Yeah.
So Cartier was talking about one line. Was there any way for Black to save the piece? Queen c3. I don't know when that move was supposed to come in.
Yeah, Cartier on what move? Queen c3.
Oh, wow. You're right. When they pushed that pawn, oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Pushing the pawn is fine after taking the bishop, and then after the pawn captures on c3, then b3. I didn't realize the move order that it happened. I was looking at chat at that point.
Yeah. I think he made the move so fast I actually didn't even really pick up on it. But yes.
Yeah, I thought we saw pawn takes bishop, and then after pawn takes knight, then b3. But
yeah, okay, same here. But thankfully for Cartier and Dasser, our two passers, they were able to clue us in on that we missed.
All right, so we see e6 f6. So I think probably cleaner is just taking the pawn, but I don't see anything terribly wrong with this. I mean, we're opening up the king side if g takes and e takes.
So I'm trying to figure this out. So Black is down a piece, but also White only has their queen in play.
Yeah, it's a weird position. The bishop on c1 is going to get active, but the bishop on f1 is completely trash right now. It needs to be salvaged by like g3 and then another maybe bishop to h3, but then still not even the best. But that comes back to the original criticism I had of queen e2, is that it blocks in the bishop. But yeah, we're not even playing with our knight or bishop or either rook. So
sorry, I'm just laughing at Mip's comment. When is Demon out for parole? His room does look very prison-y.
Yeah.
Just take twice on f6, yeah, and that seems to be what he's doing. That kind of makes the most sense. He can activate his bishop now.
Yeah,
Demon had a pretty good pawn chain going, but it's you normally don't attack the pawn chain at the head, but I think it's okay.
His room is a metaphor for the kingside bishop.
There's that those Daster comments we've been missing.
Yeah, so after e takes f6 and then knight takes f6, the king side is a little wobbly, but at least Black picked up a pawn to make up for the piece that he's missing. And maybe he can castle queenside. It's hard though with the c6 pawn advanced to find. Okay. So I guess trading queens here does allow the bishop on f1 to see the light of day.
That's true.
So maybe this is fine.
Yeah, I guess. Otherwise, you're. Yeah, I guess you've got to trade now, because otherwise your knight is hanging.
Yeah, so we'd see something like queen takes, d takes, and then knight to d5. In which case, now black has the only developed piece, but white can move the bishops finally and be okay being up the piece. The game's okay. 94, I guess that's
defending that
okay, but it could get
pawn. Yeah, I guess maybe he's trying to defend that pawn, but maybe at a certain extent you just got to let that pawn go. I know he won a pawn from all that
d5
exchange.
It defends the pawn also, but on d5 it's defended.
He does not. I don't think he really wants to get that light squared bishop out at all.
Yeah, I don't know what the idea of knight to e2 is, other than I guess it's attacking the pawn, but we keep blocking in that light squared bishop. Is Demon a French player?
I don't know.
Does he just hate light squared bishops? Bishop b4 was played. I think bishop c5 was a little bit better there. The pawn's not really being threatened right now because we have our knight defending it.
Yeah, that it's not like that bishop can do anything.
Yeah, so we see a3, and I'd like to see bishop c5 here now instead of bishop a5. But saying that, everything I've said I don't want to see, I've been seeing. So
yeah. So what's the threat here? So if you go bishop c5 and he kicks it again, do you throw in the check?
Yeah, I mean, you can potentially check on f2 or just drop it back to b6 and then move the knight into f2.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
I think that'd probably be better.
Yeah, Demon gets up a lot. I know he's got I think he has a full household. He's got a lot of brothers and sisters. He was saying before, so or he's just getting more snacks.
And then I'm distracted by my baby that's right next to me. All right, so we see the full retreat, bishop e7, pretty much undeveloping our piece. At least he didn't put it on f8.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
We're seeing a little bit of lack of activity from Zero. Is I think one thing that we want to talk about. I mean, I guess he was active with his d4 push. It was just incorrect activity, so maybe that's not the best way to characterize it. All
right, well, zero cut off any chance of them. I don't know whether Demon was thinking to castle to get it out. It does cut it off because that bishop is still not going anywhere, so it's not like they're castling kingside. So at the moment that king is just
bishop g2
cut off over there.
All right. He's listening, I think. No, he's not listening. Finally activating the light squared bishop.
All right, he's going to bring that light squared bishop out finally.
There. Yeah, and I guess the pawn on a7 was hanging as well.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I still think g3 is probably the better move. That bishop needs to see the light of day. Otherwise, it doesn't matter that we're up a piece.
Yeah, it goes backwards like one of those pawns that you're... Okay, so he go ahead and just, I guess, gives up that pawn. Realizes what's coming, I guess.
I guess maybe the idea of this is that if we take the pawn, he's checking on f3. But we still have king f2.
Yeah. Yeah, and then what?
Or if we take this pawn, then we even have king e2.
Oh yeah, you can go back that way. I've been disconnected. Refresh.
It always wants you to be moving every 30 seconds on
Yeah, I know. The timeout feature is just way too fast. You got to give me a little bit more time just to sit and watch before you start warning me.
Yeah.
Oh wait,
They
the
only
board flipped.
expect people to watch Bullet.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I guess E5 is going to drop, and then A7 drops, and White's just, I believe, doing better. Still up the piece. As long as we eventually put it on G2 or anywhere else on the board other than F1, I think we're safely able to say
get it off that back rank. Just move it. Just move it anywhere. Yeah, I mean, assuming he sees this, because you know,
because or A6 would be worse.
Yeah, yeah. Because he's not going to fall into the trap bishop because this pawn is already moved, so that bishop can just take the free pawn.
Yeah, Daster, he's going to move it to A6 because I said that any square would work. See, I get a little worried whenever I think that there's like an obvious move that's about to be played, and then they think for a little bit. Okay, see, this is why I got worried.
Yeah,
I thought the obvious move was take the pawn, but
oh
yeah, now we've got knight e4 check winning the rook for the knight, so winning the exchange. But then it's two pieces for the rook. I think White's still good.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what Zero saw there. Why not? Did he see that he could just go ahead and take the pawn and try to just get that knight back?
And we just dropped another piece. What was? I don't know what the idea of king to b8 was.
Yeah, I think he just miscalculated it. I think.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're gonna have two commentators with screaming in the background because my kids are going to bed, so now they're screaming and crying. So no, that's not Kostya crying in the background. He's crying somewhere else.
Yeah. I mean, he's not too far from me right now. He's like a 40-minute drive from me, so maybe you can hear him if he's loud enough. Yeah, Daster. He was protecting the A7 pawn.
Defended A7. It was a critical move that that you spotted. Yeah, so this. All right, I was just screaming. I'm sure you can hear that, but
no worries. They've probably been able to hear mine the entire time.
Yeah, but you see, you're still in the benefit of right now. They've got like the baby scream, where it's just like they're just whining and screaming. It doesn't hurt. These two are at the point where they just scream. It's like so loud and hurts the ears. so you have that eventually.
Yeah, right, so Black was potentially winning back some material. It still probably would have been better for White, but Black decided not to win the material.
Yeah, it's a pretty big material gap now to try to overcome, but
yeah, two pieces is pretty tough, but I still like that he hasn't resigned yet, because it is still possible to randomly get some weird checkmate. It's unlikely, but it is possible.
Yeah, at this level, and even hell, still at my level, they always say don't resign into a certain, because I've blown games where I'm up tons of material. So as long as Demon stays calm, focused.
I stalemated Nordovik up 18 points of material. So it is completely possible that even at a higher level.
Oh, that's painful. Our stalemates are just why do they have to have stalemates? Hey, what's up, Alexa, by the way? Alexa joined the chat. Yeah, it's an art form of knowing when to resign. Sometimes just resign. Other times it's just, you can play on.
But here I think bishop b2 would be a decent move. Threatening the knight, and if it moves, we pick up the e5 pawn that we should have picked up a while ago. But then white has the intermezzo of bishop to f6, threatening our rook. So when it moves, then we can move our knight, no longer dropping the e5 pawn. But instead, we saw b5, bishop f6.
And that bishop move just locks that bishop in. I mean, it's far advanced, but
there we go. Best move I've seen by white all game.
There you go, Demon.
Finally taking advantage of our material. We now have a bishop and a rook in the game.
Did they hear each other? Because my kids are just screaming. Yours is screaming like they're like on cue. They're like synchronizing. I just keep muting, but I know how Gilda feels our pain too.
All right, so bishop g2. What kind of ideas can black try to swindle this with? It's going to be tough. Being down 2 pieces is very tough. We just need to get some activity. So bringing our bishop to a better square than a3 and bringing our rook into the game a bit more. And praying. Those are our options.
Wait,
so now bishop c5 protects the a pawn. It's probably the best retreat here.
Yeah.
b4 is also possible, but then we lock in our bishop on a3 where it doesn't want to be.
Oh,
and
see?
This is why you don't resign.
See? That's what we're talking about.
White gives the rook back.
Yeah,
so
Demon is not happy with himself.
We're a bit closer to anyone's game. I still favor the 2 pieces to the rook. But
Demon's got to not let it go to his head because he's clearly he's clearly angry at himself. But that was a good spot by Zero to find that spot for the bishop that covers that square. They got to give him credit for spotting that as well. So we've got to. It's still a game. It's tough to get that. Well, maybe it's not too tough to get that rook out now. Because that bishop is locked in draw. Wait, they drew?
I don't know why there was a draw here. There's so much more chess to be had.
What just happened?
Well, if it's going to offer, I'll take it.
Whoa, what?
Yeah, there's a lot of chess to be had here, guys.
Man, I don't. A draw.
I was surprised. I wasn't expecting them to offer that. I played about as bad as I could possibly play.
You made some bad. There were some blunders, some miscalculations that we saw, obviously, and I think you realized it after the fact that there were just some miscalculations. But we kept saying, don't resign because it could be a blunder, and I wouldn't have drawn that because I don't know who's winning because Demon has the pieces.
Still winning here, the 2 pieces.
I had no clue what to do at all. I had more pieces, but I had nothing to really do.
Uh-oh.
No, he's freezing again. Sorry, he went full robot for.
He's freezing again.
Yeah. I think they're having some wind and some weather issues up there in Maine, so it keeps going in and out. But it looks like he's coming back now. So so you were afraid you had nothing?
And white can play 94 to d6, and I think probably should.
Yeah, I just felt like it would take really, really long, and I would move one piece way too much just to find that attack that he. To be honest, I don't know. I didn't.
Was a little bit of just being upset with yourself by hanging the rook there more than the result.
Well, I was kind of upset I hung the rook, but if I didn't hang the rook, I would have hopefully won that, but I don't know.
You're up a lot of material, and that was a good attack move, and it was actually a really good find to bring that bishop back to defend that square.
I didn't realize that, but
well, that to me that was hope chess. I was hoping he wouldn't see
yep.
it.
Yeah, they say never play hope chess, but when it's your only, it's your last resort, I guess that's what you got to do.
Yeah.
I knew he was gonna do it too, but as soon as he moved it, I blanked out for a second, and as soon as I played the rook, I looked at where he played the bishop, and I got so upset immediately.
That's one of those moves where you move it and then you immediately see it.
Yep. You don't see it till you move it.
Well, I knew I was in trouble coming out of the opening. I haven't played in 2 or 3 weeks, and it showed.
That's what made it worse. I just finished my classical today.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm getting a little echo. I don't know if it's from Zero, maybe. I can hear myself when I'm talking. That now it's better. Well, I think. Yeah, I can't hear it anymore.
All right.
Sorry, I just heard that. Yeah, so I guess we can kind of go through the game a little bit. I know there was obviously, I think everybody knows some of the critical moments, but and you correct me, Mitch, if there was any subtle ones that you noticed that.
Yeah. So the first one I want to point out here is D3. So we're making a lot of, both sides are making pawn moves, which is with black, you understand that's the point of it. But D3 is a very slow pawn move when our E4 pawn's already defended, so we don't need to defend it with D3, and it blocks in our bishop on F1. So here, I don't like the move D3, but then even black has the opportunity to play D4 here and really make D3 look like a bad move by blocking in that bishop for a long term. So if the knight moves back, we can see E5 or even C5, whatever, to defend the pawn. Or it's already defended by the queen, but it's E5 is a good developing move anyway. Completely locking the center, and then that bishop on F1 is suffering. So it's just something to think about is bishops want out, so we don't want to block them in by pawns.
Yeah, that was like kind of the biggest criticism that we had of at least of White's play was just that light squared bishop. It really did. You did not let it get out, and I think eventually you got it out and developed it pretty.
Eventually,
but we kept begging for you to like get that light squared bishop out somehow.
Yeah.
So that's fine. Instead, we see here. We see E5 here. Zero. The way I would think about this without needing to calculate, without needing to kind of determine where I want to place that knight. I know that on G4 it's going to be bumped around even more, and on D7 it won't be. So here I would suggest thinking of that and then moving it to D7. That's
kind of what I was afraid of, because I realized I played that there, and instead of like blocking it with my queen pawn or something, I played that. But I was kind of afraid he would play that move, but I haven't really seen too many people our rating really do too much like attacking like that. I've never seen someone my rating do that, surprising me. But I was kind of afraid of it.
Yeah, and knowing enough of the Caro-Kann, I realized that that actually is just a natural move because that's where your knight wants to go, is that direction.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, even without knowing the Caro-Kann, just thinking I don't want to move my knight too many times. So on G4, we know that it's going to get bumped eventually with an H3. So on a D7 just kind of feels a bit better. But it's fine. We moved to G4. It is an active square. It's just going to be hard because eventually we're going to be bumped back and have to go all the way to H6 instead of F6 because F6 is being threatened right now. So Queen E2 was played. It defends the pawn, but it does block in the F1 bishop, which is you're going to keep hearing this because you blocked in the F1 bishop
Yeah.
quite a few times. I think D4 here made more sense to defend the pawn, and it helps develop the F1 bishop, so it feels a lot nicer. So that's just something to think about is if you're blocking in your bishop or not. I mean, Queen E2 is not bad. It's just going to take a bit longer to develop that bishop.
Which it really did.
Yeah.
Took me a few moves.
All right. And then F3 was played here, which F3 and H3 accomplished the same thing. But one thing to keep in mind is that H3 is less weakening of our king. So I think H3 is just a more natural move here, just something to consider if you want to bump the knight. But I mean, I don't think F3 is bad. Just always be careful whenever playing with the F pawn.
Yeah, there's some people will say never play F3. That's the that's the Ben Feingold approach. And normally, at least what I would see is that H push to threaten that knight. But
yeah, but F3 is fine. And then here is 0. I want to talk about this move here. I want to talk about D4 here. I want you to visualize one move ahead here.
Oh, yeah.
After the
I know he doesn't want us to because I think he understands it, but we're going to hit you with it.
Yeah. Just when you make a move, always think, what will my opponent do? And try to visualize in your head. I know it's like hard to visualize and it's just something to continue to try to work on. But visualize after D4, if he makes the most natural move here, which is capturing our knight. So visualize half a move ahead, his move ahead. Now our bishop is being threatened. So even if we take the knight, we're still losing a piece, right?
Yep, I instantly saw that and I was like, that was just the dumbest possible move I could have made.
I've done the same thing, and that was like the first thing that I was like, all right, that's like something like we can talk about. It's and Mitch,
I understand because we were talking that's something that we had seen like in a Tal game or a Shirov game, right? We'd see them just letting the piece hang and threatening something else on the board, and I think you got a little too fancy there. So just try to think a little bit ahead when you make a move like that, or just make the simple move of retreating if you are still finding it a little hard to think too far ahead.
Yeah, that's what I used to do too. Is we were comparing it to like Tal and Shirov and that kind of stuff, where they have these like where they attack and it's like this expert calculated thing where that they didn't see. But in my head, I would make that similar move and think that there was some like really deep line that I was calculating, but really there was nothing. So sometimes it's just better to not try to be fancy and just play just solid, just develop your pieces, protect your pieces, whatever it needs to do, but just play solid standard. You can call it boring if you want to. Sometimes call it boring chess for this, and just go ahead and just save your knight, and not try to get too fancy.
I kind of destroyed my pawn structure.
And I kind of, that was my thought too. It was like, maybe it kind of destroys your pawn structure, but then Mitch hit me with it's actually not that bad. It's actually pretty good. But to me, I was feeling the same thing. But
yeah, I mean, if you were to have captured the knight before the queen, you could still just leave the pawn on b2 hanging, and let the bishop recapture it, and then you have a better structure with the f5, e5, and then eventually you're going to play d4, and your bishop will be on g2, and I think that's totally a good structure.
Now here I want to ask. Sorry, when we get to this, so it seemed like it was a good push here. Zero, do you see you captured with the pawn?
Yeah,
and
I
very
saw that
quickly.
after the fact again.
Okay, because even when it happened, Mitch and I, we were both doing stuff. We both missed it, and then I think Cartier and Daster both pointed it out.
I thought the move order was the logical move order here was pawn captures bishop, pawn captures knight, and then b3.
Yeah, I think that's a problem I face a lot, and that's where I had calculated his move differently, and so I didn't take his move that he actually made into account in my head.
Exactly.
So I took, and then I saw it as soon as I had done it.
Yeah. So I thought that happened in the game because I was reading chat and then looked back and had seen the resulting structure, and I was like, oh, b3 was a good move, but b3 actually here loses.
This is the pawn structure that we saw like before all those trades, and this makes sense. This made sense, but it actually just went the wrong way. So Demon, do you see what was wrong with this order in this position? What? Do you see instead of here? Sorry, I'm clicking around. You are seeing my screen, right?
Yeah.
So here, instead of you pushed your B pawn instead of taking the bishop. Do you see what the issue is? What can black do in this position?
Hold up, I'm kind of slow today.
No problem. I'm slow most days.
Yeah.
And
is there a hanging?
Still kicking myself now because I didn't even see the other end of that, which was the fact that it was a check with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you see the hanging white piece, Demon? With check.
Yeah. Yep.
And so, if you try to go crazy and try to do something like that, then you win the rook with jack. If they try to do something like that, then just go ahead and take the queen, and then you basically Zero could have saved the piece.
Or we can even take the rook and instead of the queen.
Oh yeah.
Get a rook.
True.
I played the move, and I thought he was going to play the queen, but I didn't realize that I just hung my rook.
Yeah, so it was just a sequence. So in this position, you got to take the bishop first.
Yeah, and then when he takes, then you play b3, and then now this is completely fine.
B3 was B3 like on the surface because it happened so fast. I was like, that was a good find. That was a good B3 move. It was just in the wrong sequence, and it happened so fast that I didn't even pick up on it.
Yeah, and then this transposes to the game. It's just that by doing b3 first, you allow black that option of winning the rook.
Yeah, sorry, chat. Yes, he would still lose the rook in that sequence. I clicked through it, but yeah, he would still lose the rook. You're right.
Okay, so it was missed, but yeah, just something to always think about there. I know Zero, you probably were just assuming that the pawn would take, and that's why you took with your pawn. But just always think like, oh, b3, that looks not like what I was expecting. What should I do here?
I should have taken a step back.
Yeah.
Considering how much time I was taking on other moves, that was just kind of silly.
Yeah, I have that same problem too, where like I'm so focused on that one attack that I didn't realize what was happening on the rest of the board that I didn't see that move.
I mean, that is like one of the hardest things. I mean, that's what I do. I just you focus in on one aspect of it, and the more you can try to learn. And I'm telling you guys, but I'm really just talking to myself. It's just stop moving so fast and just sit on your hands and take a look at the full board.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. I was sitting on my hands because it's kind of like
the more you can just like kind of slow yourself down and rethink it, the better it is. So.
And then halfway through it, when I was getting my light bulb plugged in, that's why I was moving around so much.
Is that what you were doing? We were wondering what you were doing.
Yeah, I went out. There was smoke everywhere because my brother's cooking. And then I came in, got my light, and then I knocked my chessboard over. So I lost where we were. So I just plugged it in, and I was just done. I didn't feel like setting it up again.
Because is that what you were doing? You were making the moves on the board while you were playing?
Yeah. I would look over and look at the board, and then I would play. But every once in a while, I'd play and then make the move on the board. Because you think I was just so used to not looking at the board that I would just play the move, and then I'll look over and I'm like, oh wait, I'm supposed to be slowing myself down. So, it's a long process trying to change what you're doing before, but it's worth it.
Gotcha.
So D4, E6, and F6. F6. I think the logical move would just be capturing on E6, but F6 loses a pawn, but it's not the end of the world, so I think it's fine. Trading queens made sense. Trading queens also gives us the chance to get our light squared bishop developed, right?
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, we needed to go back to harp on that again. So yeah, you finally traded, and look at this. This light squared bishop finally comes into the game.
has some vision now, but then wait till the next move.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Then this is where we really wanted to beat you up. Oh come on! Then you blocked it again.
Blocking in our light squared bishop.
So this is where we're starting to question whether you really hated this bishop.
Yeah,
but
do you play the French as black, Demon?
No.
I think you muted.
Yeah, Demon, you're muted.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I was over here coughing and dying. Yeah, I've played it a few times.
Okay, so you just hate light squared bishops. Got it.
That was Mitch's assumption during the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but at least you got that. That was my criticism earlier too. Is that your Zero actually had a lot of his pieces out, and he was developing them.
Yeah.
A lot of your pieces weren't getting developed, so that goes back to kind of the simple chess of not trying to make it too complicated and just focusing on getting your pieces out. Which even Zero hadn't gotten his.
That's what I.
Yeah, and Zero hadn't gotten his like dark squared bishop out either. So, but now with those pawn trades, you're able to get that bishop out and get it into the action.
Well, he always has it open because he has open spaces, nothing's blocking it, and then I had mine blocked, and then I decided, let me try to attack his knight, try to make him move his knight back, and then I realized, oh wait, that's pretty not the smartest idea.
Those are the chess ideas we normally have, not the smartest ones.
Every move I'm seeing that we are going over all leads back to that first initial move with the knight. Got in the way of all my development plans. Got in the way of getting the bishop out of the way. So I had the light squared bishop outside of my pawn chain.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't able to complete the pawn chain in the first place because of that. That whole move just cost me everything.
Yeah, and then even this one. Sorry, I went back a little bit. So when you brought the knight out here. I don't know, Mitch, if you feel the same way. I know you're defending that pawn, but now your knight is kind of out in no man's land with no defenders. Mitch, I don't know what you would say, but I mean, just even doing something like
just
that.
The logical way to bring it out. I understand on E4 it has a bit more activity, but if after knight E4, bishop to D3, threatening the knight, and now we can't defend it, so we have to move it again. So yeah, I guess C5 is fine. But we're just making a lot of moves with the knight again.
Yeah.
And then, maybe eventually we trade it for the bishop, but that's the bishop that has moved one time this game, and the knight has moved far more times, right? So
yeah,
we're essentially, that's one thing to think about when, especially more in the opening phase, less now, but when you trade a piece that's moved a lot for a piece that hasn't moved a lot, you're essentially trading 3 moves for 1, right? So that's one thing to think about. It's not always a good rule of thumb, but it's just something to like keep in your mind when you're trying to be more developed and whatnot.
And I guess I could have brought my bishop out. maybe to attack the knight.
Yeah,
But-
yes, yeah. That's what. Yeah, Mitch had mentioned that. So when he made this
Yeah.
move, if you make that, then you're forcing Zero to move his knight again.
Sorry,
Oh.
Neve. That's all I do is blunders.
And
I
that's
can't say anything about that.
all right, wait, sorry. That's not the actual game. Yeah, so all right, so you brought your knight out, kind of blocked it some more. You developed your bishop now, kind of defending this pawn, but the pawn's already defended. I know it can get kicked away, but white isn't going to be able to bring any more attackers against this pawn.
Yeah, and it was
currently.
actually less about the pawn and more of setting up with the king behind it. And I wasn't sure how I was going to get there, but I was planning to at least to put those lines together.
Yeah, it's
But
good.
I wasn't sure how I was going to get that stupid pawn out of the way. It's actually more detriment to me than help.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think bishop c5 is a more active square for the bishop just because it's not being blocked by our own pawn, like you're saying. But at least you had some reasoning behind it that it was on the same diagonal as the king, so not too bad there. It's just, yeah, like you said, that pawn's not going to be able to move because it's facing another pawn, right? Whenever pawns are facing each other, neither of them can move it because they can't capture. And he's not going to let you capture anyway. I mean, I guess now you could potentially see something like a knight to d2, bishop takes, and then pawn takes, but then that pawn's still not going anywhere after the king goes to d1. But
Yeah, which I think is why I brought the rook in on the castle,
yeah,
if I remember correctly.
yeah, but still that pawn's not never going to go anywhere, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It looks nice to be on the back or the 7th or the 2nd or whatever, but
And to be fair, you can please Neve Storth because he says it's too much learning. He wants more blunders.
yeah, I wouldn't say a bishop is a blunder at all. The bishop to
Nah.
d4, just things to
It's
think
just
about.
it's just a move that then so Demon can come and just kick it away. Before we make your move, we were thinking, dropping it back to right there, keeping the threat with a check there.
Yeah, or even keeping the threat of even knight to f2 is good as well.
Yeah. But instead, as Mitch called it, you roughly undeveloped your bishop to a certain extent.
Yeah, I just couldn't see a way that it was going to be good, so I just chose the safest square I could find.
Yeah.
Without completely undeveloping it. But
yeah. If you had put it on f8, I'd have a lot of problems with it. But e7's not as active as c5, but it's fine.
So you brought it back to bishop e7, so it's not the end of the world. I don't know, Demon, were you thinking you developed your bishop out? Was there thoughts of castling queenside, or are you just trying to develop your bishop? Because Zero did cut it off, prevented that from happening.
Yeah.
Took the open file with a castle, which is always an impressive move. You got to give yourself credit for that.
Well, I was thinking about castling because right now my king isn't really too. I mean, my king's safe. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it has a bunch of defenders there, but it's just in the middle. Like our kings right now are just aligned with each other, so it's not. And my rook's stuck.
Yeah.
So it's just not good.
Yes, so I understand wanting to castle. I think that's a fine tendency. Really, the advice that I would give is castle a lot earlier than this, but there's a hectic game up until now.
It's move 17 and he just castled.
Yeah, but this is fine. I think black's fine castling. It does hang the pawn on a7. Honestly, I don't even know if you need to take it. I think g3 was fine.
And I saw that coming up, so that's why I eventually moved my king. But
you moved your king at the worst time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember. Yeah, I remember when you moved the king, and I understood why, but it was Yeah, and we'll see it. Wasn't perfect.
Yeah, sorry, I don't mean to be rude.
No.
Yo, chess with the raid. Thank you, chess.com.
Thank you, chess.com. Someone with hands, can you please shout out? Thank you.
I got it.
Holding a baby.
Yeah, you're holding a baby. I'll handle this. Sorry. Thanks for all the raiders and chess.com. We're going over Zero and Demon here. Just played a game, played a rapid game, and we're going through it. Trying to give him some analysis, trying to give him some help. So appreciate the raid. It was a game. This is chess.
All right, so castle is fine. It does hang the pawn, but I don't think it's necessary to take the pawn. I think G3 is fine. We trying to get our bishop out, so I applauded G3, and then chat was quick to point out that while I said it was white's best move of the game, there was a hanging pawn. So
it's just as Mitch was saying, you could have done that. It gets a little greedy maybe. So yeah, Mitch was fine with that move.
G3 is good. So then we see, knight comes here, I guess, threatening knight F3. And here, so we take the pawn. That's fine. Knight F3 check.
Oh yeah, this
came out right to. Okay, so Zero here. What was the idea behind knight to D2 instead of just taking the pawn on E5? Was that your initial plan when you checked, or did you change the plan here?
I was thinking more about
for a bit here.
Yeah, and I was debating between that and going after the bishop, which I don't know why, because the bishop sat there forever and wasn't moving. So I don't know why I chose to all of a sudden attack it.
It's funny because
especially while you were exchange it
here, I was telling Derek that I was always a little worried whenever you thought when I was like, oh, there's an obvious move here. So I was right as I was saying that you played knight to D2, and I was just thinking to myself, oh no, is he trying to take the bishop? Because the bishop hasn't moved all game, right?
Right.
And then it's been stuck on F1.
Yeah, and then it connects the rooks and all kinds of bad things.
This one was like you if he doesn't want to move that bishop, you don't touch it. Just let it be.
Yeah. So here, I definitely think you got a little too fancy there. It's funny because actually the way that he responded to it was a blunder, with the rook to D1. So you had the potential to win an exchange here. Do you see the move? Don't play it yet, Derek.
Sorry.
Let Zero think of it.
Was that a question for me?
Yeah, Zero. What is Black's best move here?
Or either Demon too. You can look at it too.
This is a bit of a tougher tactic.
Well, it'd be knight to. I can't see the.
Oh yeah, I don't have. Sorry, I'll turn my coordinates for you guys. I've turned them off as a training.
D6, or D5.
Oh, stop flipping it. Sorry, what'd you say?
The board's reversed, so it's a little hard.
Yeah, E5 or E. Not to E4.
E4, yeah.
Check.
Yep.
And then take the rook after that.
Yep. So we win the exchange because our knight's hanging, so he takes our knight, but then his rook is hanging. So here we get back a little bit material. I think white's still better with the two pieces for the rook.
Right.
But at least we've gotten back a little bit of material. So that's just a quick little tactic to think about.
And that's one. Maybe it's just me, but I feel like it's more than just me. When I was beginner, and maybe still to this day too, I still feel like one rook is better than two pieces, and I know even math says that that's wrong, because the two pieces are stronger than the one rook. So when he says this, I'm like, oh, I'm up a rook, but yeah, you've got the two pieces, so you also have to think about that too, because those two pieces, just having those two, are going to be stronger than this rook. So
I think especially as long as white keeps the bishop pair, I think two bishops definitely are stronger than a rook. Yeah, it's offset by a bishop, but it's still a pair of bishops is always really strong.
Yes,
you'll hear.
Thank you, chat. That 2 is more than 1. Thank you.
Yeah. So just a quick little tactic there. Instead, Zero decided to defend.
Sorry, let me go back. I was laughing at Alexa's comment. So yeah, this is where we're going to be really mad at you, Zero.
Oh yeah, I can imagine.
So we had the chance to potentially get a little bit more equal material in the game, but instead, King to B8 just drops another piece.
Yeah.
Yep.
So did you see that it dropped a piece? Were you just thinking, oh, the knight's dead anyway? Or did you not realize you were dropping a piece with King B8?
I realized it did, and I don't think I knew. I wasn't seeing a way out of it.
Okay.
And that's where if I'd have seen the stupid E4 move, that would have made a heck of a lot more sense, because without seeing that one, which I saw every other move, and it just led to being basically losing my rook, and that got stuck in my mind, I think.
Yeah, so even if the knight E4 trick doesn't exist, you can still take the bishop that we keep telling you not to take, but it's still at least that way it doesn't drop a piece.
Yep.
Because even if he does take our rook, we can take it back. So
I'm just trying to figure out exactly.
Couldn't I have tried to take with my bishop instead?
Sorry, at what point?
Oh, I was just saying, could I have tried to take with the bishop? Like,
instead of rook to D1?
Instead of taking with the rook, take with the bishop?
Oh, either way, you're winning a piece. So
yeah. Well, I don't know. I just like rooks better, I guess.
Yeah.
I was just trying to see if there's any kind of way to. Hey, thanks for the sub. Sorry. So when you play this, is there any? Oh, sorry. We're not missing any kind of a trick or anything. I mean, you can tell me, Mitch. I mean, if he just doesn't.
Oh, you're saying.
I guess if he does something. Oh, I guess then you just win the piece back. Okay. Yeah. All right. Never mind. I see. I had to walk my way through it. So if you don't take that, then you drop the knight, and then he gets a clean piece back. Okay, that makes sense to me. Okay, sorry. So yeah, I think it's safe to say that was just a kind of calculation.
Yeah. So okay, the rooks come off. Demon, you could have taken with the bishop or the rook. Either way is fine. Still winning a piece. Self-pinning is okay as long as you move the bishop away anyway. But trading rooks is fine. You're up at 2 pieces. So trading is good for you. So I think this is fine. And then here, just like Zero said, he's kind of playing hope chess to get back, and that's fine. At this point, you're down 2 pieces. As I was saying to Derek, all you can do is try to be active and pray. So you did a pretty good job of trying to be active. And I don't know if you prayed or not, but something worked. So
it can't hurt.
Why you never resign. Here, I was pointing out to Derek that black has a decent move, but actually white has a better response to it, so it's not as good. But the idea is, you could go bishop to b2, where if the knight moves, you can take the e5 pawn. So that's one way of keeping the bishop really active and trying to use it actively. But the problem is actually after bishop b2, white has the intermezzo bishop to f6, threatening our rook and defending the pawn. So unfortunately, bishop b2 doesn't work, but just something to look at. I don't know if you looked at it or not.
Yeah, which you didn't even. So you didn't play this bishop move, but even still, Demon ended up finding that bishop move that does kind of lock in what they call it. They call it the crystal, where that pawn is defending that bishop and it's just kind of locked in. So it's pretty powerful. That's cool. Pretty far advanced, but you did find that move, even though he ended up not threatening the knight.
Yeah, and so that bishop f6 is good, and then I think that Zero played logically to put the rook on g8, trying to be as active as possible. Maybe we get our rook to g4 at some point. Maybe from g4 we can get some random checks and keep praying that's
what I was hoping for.
Yeah. Because currently that bishop is kind of cutting off,
Yeah.
It's cutting off that rook pretty well, so it's a little bit harder to get it developed.
Yeah. And then I think we see bishop g2, and that's good. Now we finally get the bishop out.
There you go. That light squared bishop is in the game.
Yeah. Then black defends our c6 pawn. White threatens here. Zero defends the pawn while retreating.
the only move to defend that pawn.
Yeah, and then here, unfortunately, for Demon, he lost the rook. Moved a little.
He has the same face that he did when he made it. He was so mad at himself.
So here you have almost 8 minutes, Demon. So just one thing you got to remember is to slow down and
take my time.
Yeah, take your time. Double check to make sure that your move's not hanging anything. I think that's really the strongest thing that either of you can do at your level is just think, when I make this move, am I dropping a piece? And if you think that about every move that you make and you stop dropping pieces, you'll win almost every game up until 1,000. Like, if you just think, when I make this move, am I dropping a piece? And sometimes you'll be wrong and you'll still drop a piece if your calculation was wrong. But if you just think through every move that your opponent can make after you make your move, well, not like, don't think through every move, but like think, is there a quick capture that my opponent could have of either the piece I'm moving or another piece of mine that's hanging? And I think if you really think that through, that's going to be 300, 400, up to 500 points on your rating, because hanging pieces below 1,000, I think, is like the really big thing that happens a lot.
And I was just laughing because it's perfect timing. Because thank you, St. Louis Chess Club, for the raid. And they brought in Michiko right at the moment to praise that she was so excited to see Demon right on his blunder. So Michiko is excited to come in and see you, but sadly she had to see it right on your blunder.
Yeah,
but those were all very, very, very good, wise words of wisdom that Mitch was giving you.
Yeah. Yes, definitely. Thank you for all the raids, because I think our numbers were probably the most abysmal we've ever had on the dojo.
Yeah, all the other channels heard that there was a baby on stream and they wanted to.
So Seth's not on; he's watching, and we've gotten like 2 huge raids. And Scrubs never get these raids, and now Seth and Drew aren't here.
It's because we're on what
Corporal, I was below 1,000 at some point back in elementary school, so it's not completely a foreign country. But
it's just been a lot longer than the rest of us. Yeah. I was under 1,000 not too long ago.
And Mitch ... Thanks, Michiko.
Wow.
Is the baby cute at least?
Yeah, come on. You got to give the baby some love, Michiko.
All right. So Demon hung a piece, Zero took it, and then unfortunately,
this is where everyone's mad at you guys.
Talk about is just like some mental fortitude of, oh no, I hung a piece. I've got 8 minutes left on the clock. Let me think for 3 minutes just to like calm myself down, and then keep playing, because White is winning here. And you offer the draw. I understand why, but yeah, if you had calmed down a little bit before making the draw offer, I think you would have seen knight e4, and then the knight's either coming to d6 or even g5, and it's going to become a really strong piece. And eventually, it's going to be a lot longer of a game than when we had the rook. But eventually, White should win this. But I understand why. But sorry, go ahead, Zero.
This is actually the point of the game where I felt the most comfortable. I knew I was down material, but I felt comfortable with how to handle it from there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's tough, because it is a weird position for us scrubby players. it definitely is a weird position, and it's hard to kind of tell necessarily what move to make, which I think is what Demon was saying when he resigned. He wasn't sure what the next move was, what the appropriate response was. So I can understand. Have you guys studied a lot of like end game stuff, or have you done any end game drills, or how comfortable? If Zero, if you said you were kind of comfortable now, are you comfortable in the end game?
I'm comfortable with a lot of the end games. I practice pretty much daily as far as end games go.
I just want to turn on the eval bar. Yeah, this says white winning big because it's
I'm not the best in end games. I'm so used to like doing good in my opening and mid game and finishing it pretty fast, then going really, really far into a game. Because if I don't have like a queen or rooks and stuff like that, me checkmating someone is like, I would be so surprised. Like I'm not good with that type of stuff.
Well, then I mean
the thing is, this is a training game also. So make the most sense to continue playing, to go into something you're not comfortable with, like an end game, and have that experience of playing it out. So
I did consider not taking any draw
in the dojo while training. Never offer draws, never resign. Just play the game, because
you never know.
Then
I wasn't going to take the draw, and then I started to think about it. I was like, I don't want to be that jerk.
No, it's to be fair, and I know it's everyone's trying to be friendly, and it's like a game like this, and it could go either way. And he blundered, and maybe Demon should have been winning, and he should have blundered, and it should have been over faster. Maybe he shouldn't, but still, what Mitch is saying is basically it is friendly, but don't offer a draw or resign too soon, because it is such good practice. Because if you, especially because what you said, Demon, is that you said you're not good or comfortable in the end games, and it's as much as painful as it is. That's when you have to do it. That's when you have to make yourself uncomfortable so that you'll be better, and then you'll be more comfortable in the long run. Is to put yourself in those uncomfortable positions and make yourself try to figure it out. And if you draw or resign, even if it's lost, just play it out, and then you can review it after the fact, and you can understand the positions. And then the next time you get in that position,
especially at me and Zero's rating, where it's more likely that we'll blunder. Like I just blundered.
Exactly.
So it's very likely that Zero could have blundered, or I could have blundered again. But
no, I was done blundering.
He was not going to blunder anymore.
I was done.
Because basically, he had blundered. Zero had already blundered. He had gotten his blundering out of the way, and so Demon, you were basically like clearly winning for the most part. And then you blundered. You were still winning, but you had blundered, and it kind of cut it in half. And so at basically anything sub, even me, just don't resign, because everyone blunders, so it's never over, and you can just learn from it.
Well, cool. I think that was a very productive game. I hope you guys learned a bit from the talk afterward, but I think that the biggest takeaways from it are: one, check every move, make sure you're not blundering a piece. I know that's oversimplified to say and a little harder to do, but I really think that could help both of you. And then two, just opening principles. You don't want to move the piece too much, and allow that to guide your early moves. And I think from there, you guys could see a lot of improvement.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. So what are you guys doing for your improvement? Have you guys just been playing? And I know a little bit of what Zero's been doing, because I've talked to him about his tactics and everything that he's been doing, and working with the famous Evan Rosenberg now. But what have you been doing, Donovan? Have you been or sorry, Demon? Sorry, maybe I shouldn't have said your first name. I guess your first name is on your username. Sorry.
Yeah, it It doesn't matter. It's just my first and last name mix, so
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
So what have you been doing? Have you been doing like tactics and puzzles and what's your strategy been?
Well, I mean, in puzzles, I'm way above my rating.
Yeah, puzzle ratings are. I'm like 2,400 or 2,300 puzzle rating, so I'm like master level. I should be way. I should be way better at chess.
I'm like, I think it's like 1,000 over my rating.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. But you know, I've been doing some puzzles, but I've done all the you know, newbie lessons, I guess. I've done all the basic lessons, but I've been really just been playing more. And then like if I play in the classical, once I'm done playing, I'll try to contact my opponent and see if they'll like set up a Zoom with me or like FaceTime on like Facebook or something, you know, just to see.
Yeah.
Just to learn what other people think about the moves that we've done, because it really helps a lot.
Yeah, for sure. That's a good idea. I do want to ask both of you a question. When you press the analysis button on yours, does it automatically run the engine? Because we need to turn that off if it does. Because you guys shouldn't be using the engine yet.
I don't bother with it.
Okay. No, I don't use the engine.
Okay. After every game, you should be looking at your game, but not with the engine. You want to be thinking, oh, what could I have done here differently? But I don't think you should see what the engine tells you until you've already looked at it yourself. And even afterwards, I don't even think you should use the engine yet, because I think. Are you
an anti-engine even after you've analyzed?
I am an anti-engine for pretty much anything other than like preparation.
Gotcha.
I eventually like to. I mean, I'll look at something like I message Kostya a lot. Like, what should I have done here? And like, if he doesn't have a good idea, I'll turn on the engine. But definitely, you want to look at it yourself. Then you want a strong person to look at it, and then maybe the engine. But I think at 500 rating, I don't think you'll understand what the engine says anyway.
But that's what I.
If it's a quick tactic. But like a deep positional idea, I don't think it's going to help you at all.
I usually post it in the Dojo Club, and a lot of people actually will comment on it. I hear you. What? What the shit?
Oh, you unmuted.
The brothers barging in on him. But what he's saying is, but yeah, that's what, and I've always been, you know, it's so easy to hit the game review, and like especially, I've been better now about not doing it for rapid, but for like blitz games, you know, I'm just like, I'm just gonna click the engine, like, oh yeah, clearly I saw what that went wrong, and it doesn't help me at all. Yeah. So it's so much self control, but the more you can just stop and just go through the game, it's shocking how much stuff you'll pick up, like. Just the moves you see. I mean, some stuff you'll see like right after the fact. Like I know most of the ones zero, like you saw like the blunder almost like right after it. Yeah. There's some more subtle stuff that you might pick up on. So the more you can just talk about it. What I try to do is like immediately when I'm done, go through and just annotate, just type in exactly like what I was thinking at the time and what I see then, and then kind of wait and either come back in several hours or come back the next he turned it off. He's fighting with his brothers or something. Come on, I'm on the Scrubs episode. Give me a break, gosh.
That was not my brother, by the way. That was my father. My father decided to come in and play Ella Fitzgerald while I was talking.
That makes sense.
Yeah. But I didn't expect him to come in and start screaming. Sorry about that.
No problem. But what we were just saying is, we were just saying the more you can like just go through your games and just annotate them yourself, just type in all your notes, whether it's in a ChessBase or in chess.com or on Lee Chess Study, just whatever. Get it out immediately. Don't turn on the engine as hard as it is to just to get the immediate satisfaction. Just do not turn it on and just go through your game. Try to get as much as you can out of it. Mitch says don't turn it on after the fact. Some people will say after the fact turn it on to miss any of the subtle minor tactics. You're not, as he was saying, when you turn it on, you're not going to be able to understand the positional things that it might be saying, where it might say, H3 is 0.5 centipawns better than whatever. You're not going to pick up that. But if you look through it for an hour and you still don't see anything, you turn it on and realize it was just like this simple missed tactic. I mean, it might be helpful just to help you spot that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I normally just don't put it on at all. And like I was trying to say before, I'll post it in the Dojo Club, and then like Scott will sometimes come in, message me, tell me. What he usually tells me is, you ended with more time than you started with. You need to slow down. That's what he usually tells me.
Yeah.
But it's nice to go into a community and everyone help you. So it's been really helpful with me in my chess.
Yeah, definitely posting and getting stronger players' opinions on it is going to be a lot more fruitful than the engine, which doesn't tell you why something is better. But yeah, that's a really good way to handle it.
Sorry, I broke all the cameras. Let me fix them.
Yeah, that's something I tend to do. Is as soon as I get done with a game, I go on to Lead Chess, and I've got a study that has all my games in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll just go move by move and put all the notes in of what I saw, why I played it, what was my mood. I can usually find out where it's going to irritate me the most. And then I just go from there. And then I have either Evan look at it, or I'll post it in games and let somebody else look at it.
Yeah, if you can self-identify any blunders or missed tactics that you missed without an engine or anything, that's the biggest part, because
and I'll put in moves that I think would have improved it, things like that.
Yeah, great. Cool. Well, I'm glad to hear that neither of you likes to use the engine, because that was my worry before this call, was that I was going to have to convince you guys that engines aren't good for development.
He was watching a bunch of David Proust videos beforehand, psyching himself up to yell about the engine.
I actually think that's partly because of the dojo. I mean, like I said, when I first started playing chess just in May or something like that, I discovered dojo right after that. So I got that lesson really quick.
Yeah. You get slapped on the wrist if you turn on an engine around here. Around these parts.
Do you guys know who Japanese tutors?
Yeah.
Japanese tutors?
Japanese tutor. He has like a YouTube channel and a whole bunch of stuff, right?
He's a streamer. Yeah. He was the first person I started watching who streamed chess. And then I don't know what happened, but after one of his streams, I think one of my friends from that stream sent me a dojo link. I don't remember who it was. And so I joined it, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is kind of fun. And then later on, I found out Quagalon.
Oh yeah.
And then it was kind of weird because he didn't know that I came from dojo. So when the first arena happened that I joined, he was kind of confused of why I joined dojo, and then I told him. But it's pretty cool.
Yeah, the chess community is great.
Yeah, especially when they actually reply to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's always cool. It's like the streamer talked to me. Cool.
Yeah, it's great when they actually reply to you, and instead of just ignoring your comment and just completely not doing anything with it. Yeah.
That was the first the club battle where I'll remind everybody that Dordom played for somebody else. I can't remember. You played for Chessweeb? No, I can't remember who he played for, but we were all yelling at Dordom because he played for somebody else. So
he played for Chessweeb.
Was it Chessweeb? Yeah. Dordom.
One of you guys were like
over there too, or did he like completely just abandon us?
Yeah, he came back right after.
Okay.
Oh, and Chess Latte's in chat now. Good.
Hey, Chess Latte.
Hey, Chess Latte. He's cool.
Yeah, people were asking about you, Demon. Coco was asking about Demon. I was like, come on, everyone knows Demon. He's been in chat forever, but this is your first time on stream.
Oh yeah, it is. Wait, Derek, what's your thing? What's your username?
DM Hokey.
So yeah, I thought that was you, but it was kind of funny when I read your message because you're like, you don't want to miss your dojo premiere or whatever.
Oh, is that what I don't even know what I said.
Yeah, you
I say a lot of things.
Like
I don't know what I say. Don't ignore most of the things I say.
Well, no, I thought it was kind of funny that you said that.
Oh yeah,
But
because
I just realized that
I don't need to pull up our whole chat history. I forgot I'm on stream.
Yeah.
What am I doing?
Yeah, but I realized that talking in chat, people aren't gonna recognize you immediately.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You mean my self-deprecating humor doesn't come through?
Uh-oh, Mitch went on full mute. He's got an angry baby.
Oh.
Not happy with us just sitting around talking chess. She is bored as hell right now.
Well,
No, the baby heard
engine.
engine.
What do you want?
the baby heard engine too much and started to freak out.
Mitch has trained her to not like the engine. If you say it 3 times, she starts crying.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was funny because I was on a call with Kostya like last Sunday, I think it was, a week ago, and I was holding her and she just started screaming the whole time, and I felt so bad because I was trying to talk to him, so I couldn't keep. I was like mute, unmute, and she was asleep at the start, and then I said hello too loudly, so the entire call was just.
Yeah, you can't say hello that loud.
Yeah,
that's normally what I do.
That doesn't just go for babies, apparently.
Yeah.
I gotta say, it felt weird to jump into the stream and play a game because like I said, I haven't played a game in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Only because I'm planning to. Evan's planning on moving me to D4 as white and then changing my black one. So I was like, well, okay, I'm not gonna play while I'm doing that until I actually transition into what I'm gonna be opening with, so I don't, continue on new bad habits.
The best way to learn is to play it.
Yeah.
True.
If you would have said that, I would have let you, play your opening because I wouldn't.
Okay. I played the one I anticipated playing. I just didn't. It's just been a while since I played it because of the fact that I haven't done anything yet because we kind of playing once a month right now as far as lessons.
No.
Great. Well, I'm sure that Evan will be a great coach for you. I know that I've seen him in the dojo Discord talking about opening principles over theory. So I think he'll teach you good opening principles instead of trying to teach you the theory of D4 and the other black openings. So I think that'll be really good for you. And just stick to those opening principles. Keep blunder checking. You guys have
developed
nowhere to go but up from here, right?
That I get lost, or I get lost in a move after.
Yeah, it's tough, especially in those middle games, trying to figure out what the plan is, because you kind of make a move and then you kind of get locked in on what your initial plan was, but you just have to remember to constantly, every move, I think Seth said it in chat earlier, every move changes the position. So it's every move you have to reassess, make sure that the plan still works, and then the plan's still change.
You always have to have a backup plan. You can't. I've had that happen where I've had my
queen. Have you ever seen a heist movie? You got to change the plan sometime.
Yeah. I've had my queen and my 2 rooks all lined up completely, and then he moved his. I think he moved like his pawn forward or something, and it completely destroyed all of it. Like there was nothing there, and then like 3 moves after, he checkmated me because all my pieces were stuck in one face.
This is hard.
It wasn't. Yeah.
It's really hard for old people too.
It's hard for me too, because I've had ADHD. You know, I have it, not had, but
is that why you're changing light bulbs and stuff in the middle of a chess game?
Well, it normally isn't that bad, but when I'm trying to sit there and focus on one thing, just trying to focus, and then I can hear something out there or anything like that, and then all of a sudden I just start playing moves, and then I forget that I'm supposed to play on my board first because I have my board right here. I'm supposed to play first and then do it, but sometimes I just like that. That's why I listen to music sometimes too.
Yeah, I think we all have ADHD at some point. I think the only thing that solves it is kids.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I can't stay focused. I have to listen to music typically. Otherwise, if it's like too quiet, then I lose track. So I try to minimize everything. You know, I've got too many monitors. I'm normally all over the place, so I try to close everything and just focus on the game because it is tough to try to stay focused and not just trail off.
Especially music without lyrics, because some music with lyrics, you know, you'll be fine with, but then some of them you're sitting here, oh, maybe I want to sing to this one or something like that, and then you get too focused on the lyrics. So
see, that's why you just got to pick stuff that you're super familiar with, because there's some that I'm like I start singing, I don't even realize I'm singing, and then that actually does help me focus. It's like a reverse focus. It's got to be either something you're super comfortable with, or just like some kind of chill, like classical something other. At least that's what. For me, that's what I do.
Yeah, I have an entire playlist. It's chess playlist that I got offline, and it's just instrumental, and it's actually really good. It really does help me focus a lot. So,
I just play sound clips in the background the whole time, like this.
Taste me now.
I just play that. It just like hypes me up, and that's what I go with.
Yeah, we need a soundboard for the dojo stuff. That actually might not be a bad idea.
What do you mean?
I want you to taste my coconuts.
So,
do you have any thoughts, Jesse?
I have no like clips saved for us, but I mean, I've got our theme song. Got the Scrubs theme, but I don't have any audio clips. I need some people to give me some better clips.
I don't remember who said it, but one of you guys, when you said that I was gonna be on Scrubs, one of you guys were like, "I'm just gonna nonstop play a bunch of Scrubs songs." And I was like,
"Is that what you said?"
I don't know if it was you or if it was one of the other guys, but I was getting ready for it. But thank God, because I didn't want to have to listen to that the entire time.
Well, I can tell Seth after like 2 weeks ago, I got us our new one when someone hangs a piece. Oh, I should use it for 0.
You could have used it for me as well.
Yeah, exactly. That's true. I completely missed it. All right, I think is it Diana? Is that, do I have it right? Yeah, I think Diana's getting super pissed at us. So it might be time to call it a night.
Might be okay with the standing desk.
Yeah, I saw that you had that standing desk, so that's very fancy. But yeah, in short, all of my sound clips are of Jesse, because he's the easiest to grab clips of.
Yeah.
There's some David ones that you can try to get.
Yeah, I do have some David ones. I mean, I'm working on an intro video for us. And David does have some good reaction videos of him basically reacting to blunders.
Yeah,
he does have some
my favorite video on all of YouTube is the How to Use a Chess Engine by David.
That is a good one.
He's just like, it's
don't.
2 seconds. He just says, "Don't."
That is a good one. I like posting that to people to see that, because that's what I was thinking about that video earlier when they were like, "Don't."
This was the answer. It always makes me so mad when I watch his puzzle streams and he's like, "This was the answer." I'm like, "You have a mate in 1, Jesse. Mate in 1 was the answer."
Yeah, but I can do it in 2.
I mean, that is the one annoying thing about puzzles is like it's wrong if you take the queen instead of mating, but you would win the game if you took the queen. But
You would still win, but they're like, we want you to do it as fast as possible.
Yeah.
So, like, but I still do it. It makes no sense.
Yeah, that's one of those tough ones where I was actually even asking you guys if you're doing like puzzles or what kind of puzzles you're doing, because I know Zero has some books and that kind of stuff, because it is annoying when you see a puzzle when it's like, yeah, I took the queen, but there was a mate in 16 that I missed or something like that. But the more the puzzles that you can do it, and then if you can just stop and think about it and try to run it through the whole line and not force, try to find the first move, try to find the best move. It is good practice, because it is a skill to try to learn to find the better move. Whoever was it, Silman that said it, whatever, it was like when you find, no, it wasn't Silman, whoever was that says you find the move, try to find the better move.
Check for the next better move.
Yeah. And there is something to that. But if I'm going to win your queen, I'm taking your queen. I'm not looking for a mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found a few puzzles that do that, and they're
older
puzzles
Lasker.
I finally actually realized why the other one's the best move. So it can be beneficial too if you study it long enough.
Yeah. Okay, well maybe Diana's not happy. So she wants us. She wants us to stop
you
talking
guys
about
can
all
keep
this.
going on though if you want.
It's all good. I mean, yeah. We normally we run Scrub shows about like 2 hours, so we can let you guys.
About 2 hours, so we're good.
Yeah, we can. Get
Also,
off.
Zero, are you gonna do the next classical for October, November?
I believe so. I did this one, so yeah. My plans are to keep doing them because they're my good weekly game.
You might have to, if you're not ready, you might have to join in late, because I think they start pairing tomorrow.
Well, I was gonna say that's a good segue, because I mean I'm the one that does all the I'm doing them, so I haven't done any of them yet. But as a good hashtag ad that you just let us into, Demon, where if anyone wants to join the classical for the whatever it was, September, October ends tonight.
October,
then the October, November will start technically tomorrow. I might not have the pairings out until tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow night, just based on
which is fine, because normally people don't do it.
Yeah, most people aren't playing their games on Monday, so they just like to reach out. But I'll try to get the pairings. But anyone that does want to, Mitch is way ahead of me and already sent out the command, so anyone can join the open, which is open to anybody, or the verified, which is just for the verified club. But you can play in both, so you can play 2 classical games. But so tonight is the last time to register for the first round. You can always register late if you join next week. You can always join for round 2. But if you want to get on round 1 of all 6 rounds, you can go ahead and join. And I will try to get people paired up either tonight or tomorrow.
Yeah. I looked at all the players, and the lowest one besides me was like, I think it was like 600 to 800 or some between there. And I'm just sitting here and I'm like, wow, so everyone's over 200 points then.
But it's good learning experience. You don't want to play people. Well, somebody's going to have to, but you don't want to play people lower rated than you. Play people higher rated than you, because that's how you can learn.
And hey, if you win, you get way more points too.
Exactly. Always look on the bright side. Do.
All right, I'm signed up now.
Oh, there you go. I was just pulling up the registration to see. Look at you. You just popped right in. Yeah, I just see you on the registration now.
Yeah, I popped in earlier because I was looking through the club, and then I saw it, and I'm like, I should probably join now.
Yeah, we got actually a bunch of registrations today. Actually, there's like 16 people that have registered since Friday when I went out. I just got back from out of town, so yeah, we have a bunch of registrations in the open.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, and Mitch is, I think, the top board and the verified.
Oh, I thought Evan was playing verified. Is he not?
Oh yeah, I don't think Evan is registered. No, I haven't seen. He hasn't registered yet. So
Okay.
as it stands right now, I think you're the top board.
And my rating is higher than that now. So I'm almost back to 2,000. After
Rennick is right behind you though. I didn't realize Rennick is close to you.
Yeah, I think Rennick has beaten me twice.
As long as we're on stream, I'm just going to lean in real quick on my camera, and I'm just going to say, if you're going to join the classical, show up to your game. That's all.
Oh God, yeah.
Zero has gotten hit with a couple people that aren't showing up, and we've been trying to help get those people out that aren't. Alexa heard you talking. Alexa his name just popped up on the verify.
Oh, there we go. I don't like being a top seed, so
Alexa just took the top board.
My favorite things were the round robins when I played in the master round robins, and I was the lowest rated every time. That was my favorite because then I'm just playing against people tougher than me, so I'm not expected to win. So I'm fine with the loss and happy with the draw.
Yeah, and we're talking about trying to get more like tournaments. We have the Mega Rapid coming up, so we're talking about trying to do some kind of like basically a dojo championship system where the more you can win, somebody can be like the current defending champion, and then the next tournament or whether it's classical rapid and blitz, we might have separate tournaments, so we can kind of have a standing dojo champion. We're playing with that idea.
That would actually be really cool. Because then people will actually play for not just for winning, like, oh, yay, I won. But actually be like, yay, I won some sort of title.
Yeah.
It's not like you don't get sent like $2,000. Congratulations, here you go, you won. But it's like,
I mean, if we get enough subs and enough donations, maybe we can put a $2,000 cash prize. But you guys got to get those donations coming in a little bit harder.
Yeah, come on, guys, come on.
But yeah, so the classical is it ends today and then it starts right back up tomorrow. I'll have the pairings. A lot of people have joined.
And
maybe one day one day I'll join where I can try to find enough time to get like one classical game in a week. I struggle to get a rapid game in a week.
A lot of people don't realize that because sometimes they're like, well, my schedule's full for this week, but you can, like, my schedule is full all last week. So me and my opponent couldn't play, but you don't get banned just because your schedule.
Yeah, you can always just request a buy or whatever. But as Zero says, if you get scheduled for a game, show up to your damn game because Zero's gotten burned like twice.
Yeah. Well, if you can't show up and you know that you can't show up, don't do anything about it. Like, message the people about it and be like, hey, sorry, but my schedule is full this week. I can't play.
Yeah, that's true, Seth. Adding a prize just drags in cheaters even more.
Yeah, that's why I think.
Well, don't worry. I don't think we're offering a $2,000 prize fund anytime soon.
I like the cash prizes for things like Ultimate Sensei, where we're all like on stream and
if
any of us from Ultimate Sensei got banned, it would be like we know who they are and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
They're blacklisted for life, but
which I know David and Cozy that their big push is to try to bring back Ultimate Sensei again for season 2.
Yeah, I'd love to see season 2. That was one of the best chess experiences.
Yeah, I think that is definitely at the top of their list to try to make happen. There's a lot of coordination that has to go into it. But
yeah, that was massive.
I know that one of your donation things was like Amazon doesn't pay their taxes, but we need to, or something like that. But
you can take $2 of Amazon's money.
Yeah, you can do if you for that's a. Demon's just setting us up for all the ads. Yeah. By the way, everybody, if you have Amazon Prime and you have not used, you get 1 free sub a month to any stream on Twitch. So we would love it if you gave the dojo or any of your favorite. There's Seth with a command. Oh, Mitch beat you to it. So yeah, anyone that has Prime, you get a free sub. Free sub here. We appreciate it.
Yeah, come on, guys. Why sit around with a sub in your back pocket when you can just use it? Come on, guys.
Exactly. We're not.
Mine's coming up in 2 days, and I'll reuse it on the dojo.
Gives me hope for the youth.
Yeah.
I just finally hit my 1 year, so I finally got my black gi.
Oh, I think I'm at 18 months. I've been around
Yeah,
longer than you.
Yeah, you've been around for a long time.
I'm the old dad of the dojo.
Yep.
Okay, I think that's a good part to cut it with Mitch as the old dad of the dojo. Cut it off right there. Right as Past Pawn joins. But yeah, I appreciate you guys coming on. Hopefully, it was a good training game. You guys learned some stuff.
You guys will probably see me on here again, though.
Yeah, we'll have to have both of you back on here. You guys are the
definitely. I was supposed to be on, what was it, last week, but I couldn't join because I was busy.
Oh yeah. We make it work. So we try to keep we try to get everyone in the dojo. We try to get all the faces on, all the loyal dojoers on. So finally got these guys on.
It's nice to actually see their faces, not just their username and what they say.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's, yeah.
Yeah, nobody knew. I mean, we got the two extremes. We got the young scrub, and then we got the older scrub on today. So it's like perfect. You put a face and make the dojo welcome to everybody.
Yep.
Thanks, everyone. Well, really enjoyed it.
Yeah, thanks for Diana for showing up too.
Yeah, absolutely.
All righty, I'll figure out who we're going to raid. But all right, thanks guys, and we'll see you next week when probably I assume Seth and Drew will be back next week, and we'll figure out who we're having on next week. So thanks a lot, guys.